It is.
Buggy! Oh, yeah. She's practicing in
Okay.
Yeah. Assisted by Tyler Kingsland and John Souza. Color guard, flags and rifles supervised by Addison Caterli. Cheerleaders supervised by Rebecca Braga. Band led by student conductors Lauren Sullivan, Aaron Thatcher, and Lexi Aruda. Dartmouth High School is proud to present the Dartmouth High School Marching Band. Band will perform the following music for greeting. Music from the movie Robin Hood, Fight, Our Boys Will Shine, and Glory to Dartmouth. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dartmouth would like to welcome you to tonight's opening game of the 2021 football season between your Dartmouth High School Indians and the Spartans of Bishop Stang High School. We remind you that one of the goals of interscholastic athletics is learning lifetime values outside the classroom. We hope you will enjoy the game and will support all the participants in a positive sportsmanlike manner. In case of an emergency, please proceed to the nearest exit from the stadium. Exits are clearly marked and are located on the south and west side.
Fans are just gonna hold it up randomly. What if I accidentally notice it? And then you fall, hit your head on that, and then you fall, hit your head on that. I think
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to this broadcast of Dartmouth High School Indian football cablecast right here by Dartmouth Media, Community TV, and live on Facebook. I'm Jim Thompson alongside Paul Santos and Andy Thompson. We welcome our audience not only in Dartmouth but around the world for this special broadcast of a cross-town rivalry, Paul, that's been in existence since the early 60s. Bishop Stang High School right down the street here from the stadium and the homestanding Dartmouth High School Indians.
What a great way to start the season between Dartmouth and Bishop Stang. You know, it's a beautiful night. Temperature about 72 degrees. Big crowd on hand, big rivalry, and the fans of Dartmouth are out here to watch it. What a great way to begin.
Thank you very much, Paul. We have a little problem with our microphones, but now we're all set here. So once again, it's the Spartans in town to take on the Indians as the captains of the Indians walk out to midfield. Andrew Thompson, great to have you alongside.
I'm glad to be here.
And talking to Coach White, before the football game, and the Spartans head coach Dennis Golden. Pretty neat thing for the coaches. Both their sons are going to play for their dads.
Absolutely. I think talking with Coach Golden before the game, he's very excited to have his son starting running back as a junior. I know that Coach White's son had been a water boy for years on this team. He's excited to get a start tonight at cornerback. Very special moment for both these guys to have a crosstown rivalry and have their kids both start. And I guess they grew up together playing in Boys and Girls Club and basketball and all different sports. So they do know each other, so it should be fun.
Oh, well, Paul, the Indians come into this game. They returned 17 starters. The Spartans, on the other hand, a whole new crew. They lost all their seniors due to graduation. A very young Stang team, a very, what should be, experienced Dartmouth High School football team.
All right, Stang lost just as many people as Dartmouth has coming back, so it makes for a very favorable situation here for Dartmouth in this game against Stang. Stang's going to have all they can do to hang in there against the Indians.
Well, the Indians will start Will Kelly at quarterback, Andrew. There's been a lot of excitement for a couple of years around this young man. Fans at home have to remember, last year, basically parents could come to the games. DCTV did their very best to broadcast those games, but we didn't really get a chance to see young Will Kelly, but the coaching staff's really high on him.
They are, and I think he's comfortable with Byron Dutra. I think they've had a lot of teamwork over the years, and they feel comfortable with each other on the outside. I know Ethan Marks has been a backup running back for the past couple of years. He's getting his chance to show what he's got this year, and these seniors have played together since they were sophomores, so I think the offense should run smoothly, and they should have a pretty good night tonight.
There's the head coach at Dartmouth High School, Coach Rick White, also a student athlete here way back when. Now let's send it field side for the singing of our national anthem.
New York City, Arlington, Virginia, and Shanksville, Pennsylvania. That day was one that shocked our nation and a day that we can never forget. At this time, I respectfully ask that we all pause for a moment of silence and remembrance of those lost on September 11, 2001, as well as our heroic first responders and members of the armed forces who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation in the years following 9/11. Thank you. We ask that you remain standing, and gentlemen, if you would remove your hats, please, for the playing of our national anthem, sung by Olivia Ustinovich and our own Dartmouth High School marching band under the direction of Mr. Ian Flint.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Whoa, Paul Santos. Very well done.
Yes.
I want to apologize for you viewers at home and along Facebook. Paul's headset is down, Andrew, so that leaves the Thompson boys to carry it on here in the early going of this football game. What a voice that young lady had, huh?
Very good.
beautiful evening here for football. Game time temperature 72 degrees. No breeze. Beautiful end of the summer evening as the Indians are set to kick it away to the Spartans. Louis Freitas will kick it away for the Indians. Lucas and Carter and Alex Giamano back deep for the Spartans to receive. And the Dartmouth High football season is underway as the kick comes down to the 15-yard line. That's Gianamo. He's going to the far side of the field. Indians in pursuit, and they take him down across the 20 out to about the 21-yard line. Zach Sylvia with the special teams tackle. And now we'll get a look at the Bishop Stang offense.
He's not the only one. Oh, hello. Hey, Jim. Hey, Andy. How are you? Well, they took him off and put me on.
Welcome back.
I think Doc Nunes' mic is more important.
Lucas Sin Carter at their quarterback. They run it on first down, and Andrew, I think we're going to see a lot of runs. Talking to the coach before the ball game, Dennis Goldman. He's got a very young team, and Patrick Crane came up and made the tackle off a 2-yard gain. Second down now for the Spartans.
Yep, going to see a lot on the ground, a lot of possession. Coach Golden does not want to give Dartmouth the ball. He made a clear statement earlier, said, if they hold the possession of the ball most of the game, they got a shot. If not, it's going to be a long night for the Spartans.
Here they come out in the Avere offense. Look. Handed off to the first man through, and that's Michael Goldman, and Danny Martin, the senior linebacker, met him head on, but not before the Spartans pick up the first down of the ball game. They move the chain along the far sideline.
Just about every name you're going to call on the Dartmouth side seems to be a senior. You look up and down this lineup, and it's one senior after another. And last year, junior-dominated team, obviously, and they did very well as a junior-dominated team. They were a competitive team. But this year, with all the seniors back.
1st and 10 now for the Spartans. A lot going on in this press box.
He's back and I'm gone.
Yeah, a lot going on. None of it very good. The Spartans run it here on first down on the near side of the field. That's Greg Morales, the ball carrier. And Graham White, the corner on that side, making the tackle.
Nice disciplined play by Graham White there. Stayed outside, made him go east and west instead of north and south.
All right. Let's take a look at it again. Coming around the side, great job of tackling around the ankles and making the play. And on the play, we're down to a trying to get our microphones plugged in over here. 2nd down and about 12 to go.
Test 1, 2.
2nd down along here for the Spartans, and again they hand it off to the first man through, and they run right into the middle of that Dartmouth defense for no gain. It'll bring up 3rd down and 12. Host of Indians there. Danny Martin being one of them.
Not where Stang wants to be in this kind of offense. 3rd and long. Not the type of offense they run. Not a lot of passing here.
And again, we want to apologize to you fans at home. The public address announcers having problems. We're having problems with the microphones up here, so we hope we're coming through loud and clear. So we do apologize for some of the minor inconveniences. 3rd and 10.
33-yard line.
Going to roll to the near side, throw it near sideline. That is incomplete, out of bounds at the 45-yard line. The pass intended for Alex Giamano.
Check.
Low throw and wide will bring up 4th down.
Yep, not where Stang wants to be 3rd and long. They're not a throwing team, not a good passing team off this Spear offense. Not their strong suit. Dartmouth had them right where they wanted them. Nice defense possession there to start the season for the Indians.
So he's staying.
Jared Abreu and Ethan Marks back deep for the Indians. They stand back at their 37-yard line.
For the Anticipated punt.
Giamano to kick it away for the Spartans. Rifles it out. Marks has it. As a 37. Marks still on his feet inside Spartan territory down to their 45-yard line. So the Indian offense will come on the field 1st and 10, starting inside
Colin McCarthy, one of the tacklers for Bishop
the
Stang.
50-yard line.
Perfect position for the Indians to start here. Inside Stang territory already. Look to get Will Kelly hot and ready to go off the bat.
Ball's at the far hash. Will Kelly's the quarterback. Patrick Crane, Ethan Marks, and Will Chow are the runners. Gomes
Will Kelly, a
and
quarterback.
Barron
for the
Tutor are the
Indians.
wideouts. And here we are, the first carry of the season comes here to the near side and plenty of room. Look out, this may go. This is gonna go down and in for a touchdown. Ethan Marks from 46 yards out.
That's couldn't start off the season any better for the Indians right now. Tough start for Stang. Hits that corner and he's gone. Not much the Stang defense could do there. Everybody had a helmet on a helmet. Nice hole. Broke to the outside. Perfect play.
And Sid
Nice
Carter
one.
was the only guy that had a shot at him, and he couldn't chase him down. So one play, 46-yard touchdown to open the season. Taradash in for the point after touchdown. And he boots that right down to Bishop Stang. Plenty of leg on that one. We're just underway here from the stadium. 8:39 to go in the first quarter. Our score is Dartmouth High School 7, Bishop Stang nothing. I guess, Andrew, if you're a coach during the week and you want to drop the first play, give it to Marks, the senior, and off he went.
Absolutely. I think, Dartmouth knows their strong suit. They're an older team. They know that their offensive line can probably dominate this game, and get it to your senior captain and let him go with it. There's no need to do anything different. I think you'll see a lot of that all night long tonight.
Yeah, and if you're a young player for Bishop Stang, as we noted, they lost 17 seniors to graduation last year. You get a bunch of youngsters across the way. Of course, they're going to have opening game jitters, but probably the most devastating thing that could happen is on the first play of the season, the opponent runs it for 46 yards, basically untouched. Every like you said, hat on hat. Indians had him blocked right from the very start. Went in untouched.
It's tough being a young kid coming out here under the lights the first time. Practice is practice. You don't really hit that much anymore in practice. Tackling is going to be an issue tonight. You're going to see a lot of missed tackles. Going to see a lot of missed opportunities, missed techniques. So Dartmouth being an older team, they're going to have a lot of more advantage of knowing how to be out there and make the plays.
Raiders to kick off.
So Indians kick it away, and it's botched early, and just in a big mess down there was Greg Morales. J.T. Charrier makes the tackle for the Indians. Talking about those jitters, there's a good example. Got to catch the ball first before you take off with it.
Yep. Probably worried about getting hit or his blockers being in the right spot. And it's another, early season jitter game for these kids.
So St. Carter will bring him out. Team now trailing 7-0. Stadium clock stopped with 8:32 to go in the opening quarter. And St. Carter just hands it to the first man through it. Led by a group of Indians. Parker Souza, first guy to get him. Nick Highland was the ball carrier.
Brought down by Parker Souza.
The VR offense is great when you have the guys to block it. You don't have the offensive line to give the quarterback time to make those reads. Again, it's going to be a long night for these young kids on the offensive line. And strong defensive line by Dartmouth. They're going to know what's going on. So discipline and technique is all that Dartmouth needs to do right now.
Second down and 9. The Spartans run it to the far side of the field. Michael Golden met the Indians' Danny Martin for little to no gain. It'll bring up third down and 9.
Again, another tough spot for Sting to be in there. trying to run it inside, which I think is not their strong suit against this tough Dartmouth defense. You can just tell by looking from here, you know, Parker Souza, Josh Miller, and Devin Wilson have a lot more size on that front line than Stang does on their offensive line. And it's going to be a long night, you know, maybe try to get it outside, maybe work on some pitches if you're Stang, but you got to try to mix it up because running inside is going to be a long, long night.
Carter rolls near side. Here comes the rush. He's going to just throw it to get it away. And not the greatest of ideas, being chased down by the Indian defense. It falls incomplete and it'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, nice pursuit there by Devin Wilson coming down the line, chasing the quarterback out, making him rush the throw. Again, Stang's strong suit isn't 3rd and longs. There we go. Watch the discipline there by number 11. Sees it's a pass. He bails out. Here comes Devin Wilson down the line, along with number 10, number 19. Nice pursuit, nice contained there by the linebackers.
Abreu and Marks stand at their 45. Good snap and a very short kick. And fortunately for Stang, it takes a good roll for them, and it might make it to their 40-yard line, where it just goes dead right there. The Indians will have their 2nd possession of the game. They lead in this one by a score of 7-0. And Andrew, you start at your own 46. You take it in for 6. Now you start at their 40-yard line. Not much going right for the Spartans early in this one as Coach White along the sidelines.
No, it's going to be a tough haul for Stang, and Dartmouth has got Stang right where they want him. 3rd and longs, good field position. Look for Dartmouth to hit something quick again here, I'd say. Get it to the outside or get it to one of their playmakers on the outside. Get it to a senior and let him go.
Paul, are you on?
No.
Okay, he's still not on. Okay.
How we doing, Jeff?
DCTV, we're having our first game jitters too.
Yeah.
Will Kelly at quarterback for the Indians.
Now here's Kelly, his 2nd possession of the season. And here's Marks again. The ball's out. And Stang's claiming they have it. And they do.
Mike Golden came up with that ball.
Recovered by Bishop Stang.
Looks like Marks trying to hit that hole and just got stripped. It didn't look like anyone really hit him that hard for the fumble. There we go.
Looks like it was recovered by number 54, Tyrone Gomes.
Looks like Golden might have got a hand on it to strip it loose. Again, he had a hole there, and it was going to be a little bit, 10, 12-yard gain, and it was for Golden getting his hand on the ball. Nice play.
It will be first and 10 for
defensive coaches teach that nowadays.
40-yard line.
Wrap up and try to poke the ball out. Most certainly work there. So the Spartans see if they can get their offense going after they turn over Dartmouth. First and 10 Spartans from their own 40. And they just keep it on the ground, and that's going absolutely nowhere. Paul Carey was Morales, and Danny Martin, the inside linebacker, is having himself quite a first quarter.
Absolutely.
Danny Martin on the tackle. No
The
gain.
inside give,
Will
and
be
there's
second and
nobody
10.
there. I think that's Devin Wilson as well there on the line. He's making his presence known earlier in this game as well.
2nd down and 10. Just under 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Welcome you people watching on Facebook Live. We have Paul Santos in the booth. Unfortunately, his mic doesn't work, and here's a run of a couple of yards by the Spartans. That's Nick Highland, the ball carrier. Helmet came
Marks
off.
on the tackle. Gain of 1.
Well,
Another short gain for Stang.
It
Another
will be
3rd and 9 where they don't want to be. It's just an uphill battle now for this offense. This VR offense has got nothing going on right now against this defensive line. There's no deception right now in this VR. There's no misdirection on these linebackers. There's no pitch. There's no nothing that's really tricking Dartmouth right now. And they're just keying on their guys and going. And it's easy pickings for these linebackers and defensive line right now.
so St. Carter has him up, and referee along the far sideline says, hold on a minute. We're going to have a
Timeout on
timeout.
the field. Bishop Stang.
And we do on this 3rd down and 9. 5:03 to go in the first quarter. I'm Jim Thompson alongside Andrew Thompson and Paul Santos.
Am I here?
And Paul is here. We just can't get his microphone to work. And for those of you who know Paul, it's probably a good thing that we have that microphone. And then we have Doc Nunes, the legendary public address announcer and volunteer for the band for decades. His microphone went out as we look on at the Dartmouth High School band. So pregame jitters, some of the equipment not working, but stay with us. We hope you enjoy this telecast of high school football. And Andrew, the Patriots this Sunday. Nice crowd out here tonight. You look across the way as we look on at the Dartmouth cheerleaders. Those bleachers across the way are full for the Spartans, and our home side is jam-packed as well.
Absolutely. We were walking up, Paul and I were walking up to the booth, and there was a line of about 60 students walking by us, and it was tough to get up. And it's just nice to see that, full stands, all the kids here from Dartmouth and Stang. I saw them all earlier out, in the parking lot. It's just nice to see that, kids are back, parents are back, everyone's allowed back in here. And
your dad is so old that my cousin was the first quarterback, cousin Tom, for Bishop Stang. And the high school used to be right across the lot from where we're sitting now. And the Stang football team used to walk with their cleats from Stang to Dartmouth High for the game, along with the band.
Oh, false start.
There's a movement up front by the Spartans. Tyron Gomes
5-yard penalty. We'll make it
jumped off side for the Spartans. That'll back them up 3rd down 14, and not where they want to be.
Nope. I feel the Dartmouth defense just play zone here, I would imagine. Just get back into your coverage and don't let anybody in front of you, behind you. Another fumble here.
Yeah, he bobbles the snap, falls on it. So they had an opportunity turning the Indians over.
So it will be 4th and 14.
But they're going to have to punt it away here on 4th and 14. Clock rolling here, 4:42 to go in the contest.
It is early, but I just don't know what Stang is going to be able to do on this with this offense right now. I know they're young. I know that they don't have a ton of upperclassmen to lead them through this. It's just an uphill battle, and Dartmouth isn't doing anything fancy on defense. They're just playing their techniques, playing their gaps, and the veer is not fooling them right now.
Giamano to punt it away. Low snap. Gets it away. High end over end near side. Abreu. He makes miscues. And the Spartans have it here now inside Indian territory at the 47-yard line.
Tyrone Gomes again coming up with a big play for Stang. He's been one of the few guys making plays for Stang. And another chance for the Spartans in Dartmouth territory now to try to make a play and get some momentum here.
It will be 1st and 10 for Bishop Stang on the Indian.
Sure, Coach White didn't draw it up with this way. A 46-yard touchdown on the first carry of the season. Then a fumble by his offensive back, and now on special teams, they turn it over to Stang.
Yeah,
1st and 10.
Perfect stop for Dartmouth, and a couple of miscues here, and luckily their defense is holding tight with this.
Hands it off to Highland.
This is Highland along the left side, and Highland may have got back to the line of scrimmage.
Devin Wilson again making a tackle. He's been all over the field right
down
now.
by Devin Wilson. No gain on the play. It will be 2nd and 10.
Again, we want to welcome our viewers on Facebook Live. We have Mark Devitt, Dartmouth High School Hall of Famer, and his lovely wife Michelle tuning in from Jacksonville, Florida. Bet you he doesn't remember the new surface here at the stadium, Andrew. He played
not.
back when it was all rock and stone. Here's a 2nd down carry, and that might go for 2 or 3 yards, and that's about it. A little shoving and pushing after the play.
Yeah, don't get silly here if you're Dartmouth. They're already in your territory. No point for a silly penalty to give Stang a 1st down. Just play it cool and just keep doing what you're doing. You're going to get the ball back at this rate, so just nothing stupid here.
5 on the play.
Golden was the ball carry. He picked up 4B. 3rd down and 6 yards to go.
It will be 3rd and 7. Ball is on the Indian
Dartmouth Community
44-yard
TV
line.
doing their best they can. Try to fix Paul's microphone. Fans are expecting him.
Fumble.
And there's a loose ball
Fumble on the play.
down there at the 41-yard line. Mark says he has it.
And
And so do the officials.
Ethan Marks gave one away, gets one back. Good for him.
So what started off to be a spectacular opening here for this ball game has turned into a bunch of turnovers.
Inside give and just gets hit hard. Can't see who that is. Is that Martin making the hit and causing the fumble, and fellow linebacker Ethan Marks making free safety. Ethan Marks picking up the ball there.
Michael Golden was the ball carrier, lost the football, turns it over to the Indians.
First and 10 for the Indians on their own 41-yard line. Will Kelly, the quarterback.
Here's Marks. This time he's got two hands on the ball, and he's taking tacklers with him. Gain of 8.
Nice one. I'm sure he wants to get back in the flow of it. Doesn't want to fumble. He's a senior. He's had a nice career here, and I'm sure that really annoyed him not being on the field. And after a nice touchdown to fumble that ball.
Gain of 8 on the play. It will be 2nd and 2. Ball is on the Indian 49-yard line.
Time the Indians come out in a different look. They get 4 wides. They're going to spread the field. On second and shot, short. And here's Kelly, the ball carrier, slips through the first tackler. He's down inside the 45, down to the 42-yard line, and at Dartmouth High School first down.
Nice strong run by Will Kelly.
Andrew, we've seen that jet sweep for many years. Very successful with the staple of their offense, actually.
Absolutely. Trying to catch Stang, focusing on Marks here. Nice big hole, good block in there. Finishes the run hard here.
First and 10, Dartmouth. Here's Marks. Excuse me.
Patrick
Crane, the ball carrier. Stay on the offense. I don't want to see it from the defensive side.
Dartmouth seems to have 5 to 6 yards every time they run the ball. They can keep this on the ground all night, but I got a feeling Dartmouth's going to take a shot here, one of these couple plays coming up here, and try to get another 7 on the board.
Yeah, whistles, the flag came in.
False start. I think the running back was rocking before the snap.
Penalty.
The offense, not the defense.
Brings the ball back to the Bishop Stang 44-yard line.
So they'll spot the ball back
It will be
just inside the 45 at the 44. Second down now and a dozen to go for the Indians. And Andrew, this might be the longest first quarter we've broadcasted in a long time. Feels like we've been here for a week.
And it feels like no one's going anywhere either. Just one play and everybody else was 4 or 5 yards, fumble, 4 or 5 yards, fumble, punt.
Here's Kelly, and here comes the rush. Avoids the first bunch of defenders. He's got room here along the near sideline. It's slammed out of bounds at the 37-yard line, right in front of the Dartmouth bench. Sin Carter made the tackle.
Well, this is where Dartmouth has an advantage compared to Stang. Will Kelly can run the ball as a dual threat.
Brings it down to the Bishop Stang.
Doesn't want to do anything crazy, no turnovers, get the ball and run if nothing's there. Puts him in manageable 3rd and 6.
Down and 5.
A little extra hard tackle there once the play was out of bounds. No flags, 3rd down Indians. They're going to pitch it to Marks. He breaks through the first wave, but he's going to be short of the first down. So he nudges his way down to the 35, but that's going to be a couple of yards short of what they're looking for.
A nice play there by Stang. They penetrate the line of scrimmage, kind of goofed up that run scheme there, and nice play to let the linebackers come up and make the play on Marks.
It will be 4th and 5 from the Bishop Stang 37-yard line.
And they're going to let the period go down. It looks like the Indians sent a bunch of players on the field, maybe a mixed special teams package, but
And that's the end of the first quarter.
Marks looks at the referee and says we're going to run the clock down. And first quarter's in the bank. Great start for the Indians. Andrew, 46-yard touchdown run by Ethan Marks, and after that, it's been a game of turnovers.
Yeah, I thought Dartmouth was going to come out after that first possession and kind of blow the doors off Stang, but no matter what it is, kids are still young and they're still nervous. It's the first game of the year, first game back with
soda,
with fans, so it's going to be some nerve-wracking.
And all the proceeds do benefit the Music Association, and we do appreciate your patronage.
Paul Santos is writing us love letters. He's the only announcer, Andrew, in all my years, 25 years doing this, that's on the injured reserve list. He's got a microphone. Is he okay back there?
Injured reserve list? Is that right?
Are you on there?
No.
We have nothing.
Nothing.
He wouldn't give us much anyway, Andrew, but now he's really giving us nothing.
Used to be a show unplugged. Long time ago.
For you folks listening and viewing on Facebook
Check.
Live.
Oh,
Check.
oh, he's up and running.
Wait a minute.
He's up and running. He does have a show called Facebook Live with Paul Santos. And really, if
Hello?
you have insomnia, yeah, you're there. It's good. Don't interrupt. You're good. Nice to have you back. But he has this show, Paul Santos Live. And if you insomniacs out there, if you got nothing to do, tune that baby in live. What night's it on, Paul?
It's on Monday night at 7 p.m. live, but then it's there as a post where you can go back and see it.
Oh, beautiful.
One of our favorite shows was when we had Mr. Jim Thompson on.
And the ratings just soared through the roof, I heard.
Wait a minute. Can you still hear me? Okay. Yeah, they did,
Start
actually.
of the second quarter, it is 3rd and...
So here's Kelly, far side, throws, got a man, caught. That's enough for a first down.
Nice fourth down call there by the Indians.
Kelly's pass to Peter Crane is
Peter
complete.
Crane hauled it in for
To
Dartmouth.
the 25-yard line.
Last year, these guys were juniors, and, we had the COVID-19 season and
for the Indians
not a lot of fans
on
here.
the 26-yard line of Bishop Stang.
And I was really impressed with Will Kelly's ability to throw the ball, scramble, and make plays. And I thought, wow, he's only a junior. Wait till next year.
1st and 10. Indians going to
Mark's
run
on the
it
carry.
on first down.
Check
Mark's
1,
still
check
on
1,
his
2.
feet. And
Check
he's
1,
got
2,
himself
check
a
1, 2.
first down. Gain of 12.
Nice run. Early on this season, talking to coaches during the preseason, they said no double sessions, not a ton of practice with full pads, so there's going to be a lot of missed tackles, a lot of missed assignments. So keep on if you're Dartmouth and just keep running the clock here.
On the Bishop Stang 14-yard line.
We approach the 11-minute mark here in the second quarter. Indians threatening now, 1st and 10 from the Spartan 14-yard line. And the Indians run it off the left side. Very little gain.
Mark's on the carry.
Joey Landry
Joe
making the
Landry
play
with
for
tackle.
Bishop Stang High School.
I think we're on to something. No, maybe not.
Oh, you're here.
We can hear you.
Oh, you can hear that?
Yep.
Clearly?
Not clearly, no, but we can hear you.
Ball is on the 11-yard line.
Kelly off the ball fake. He's going to go down and in for an Indian touchdown.
Will Kelly.
From 14 yards out off the ball fake. Kelly runs it in, made it look easy, Andrew.
Too easy. That was too easy. No, Will Kelly's looking confident. He's finishing runs over defensive backs for Stang twice now in this game. Being the senior, he's been in this offense for 3 years. It's the whole nobody there. Runs over the defender on the goal line. Nice run, nice touchdown. Good drive there by the Indians.
Tara Dash.
Dash
Operation
gets the
looks
point.
good. Successful point after
It is
touchdown.
good.
And with 25 to go here in the second quarter. Dartmouth High School 14, Bishop Stang High School nothing. Your impressions of the Indian quarterback, Will Kelly.
Yeah, last year I saw him come in, and, it was really impressive. We hadn't seen him before that, and he was out there playing quarterback, and it was an unusual situation with the game in the springtime and so forth, and not a lot of fans in the stands. But I really liked the way he ran the offense. Showed a lot of poise out there for a new player. He only threw 4 passes in the game against New Bedford, but, man, he was throwing that ball 30, 40 yards in the air, and really had the weapons out there like Crane and other players out there to throw to. So I knew this year was going to be a big year for him and the team, and so far it shows against this undermanned Stang team.
Well, it's great to have you back. Paul's been alongside for the last few years. Premier hockey announcer. Locally here in the greater New Bedford area, there's really no one better, and he should be at a little higher status than local cable TV. Unlike Andrew and I, we're about high as you can get. And that ball is muffed down there at the 1 yard line. And whoa, what a mess. What a mess for the special teams. Alex Giamino.
It's a tough night for the special teams.
That
I actually thought his knee was down the first time. The referee almost looked like he was going to blow a whistle, didn't.
Messy start here for Bishop Stang, and number of fumbles and special teams misses, and the ball is in the air, and where's it going? Gets past the Stang player. He had to turn around, come out, obviously lost all that time, slips and falls, and once again Bishop Stang not only struggling as a young team, but their field position been terrible. This makes an uphill climb even worse.
Especially when you're running the ball into the middle of an experienced defense like Dartmouth High School. As Andrew said, there's not much trickery, not much motion. It's very basic, but when you got a young team, that's what you got to do. That ball was nearly fumbled on the snap. You run it out for a couple of yards.
Then you take a look at the Dartmouth Indians offensively, so easy. If it wasn't for the couple of fumbles by Dartmouth, Indians would probably have 2 more touchdowns than they have. It's only because of those plays that the score has been kept at least partially under control at 14-0. You got the big run by Marks and the big run by Will Kelly, and very, very easy moving the ball down the field.
Hand it to the first man through once again, and plowing up the middle for just a gain of a couple. That was Michael Golden.
Michael Golden on the carry.
I don't think there's much Stang wants to do right now besides just try to jam it up the middle and get a couple yards, get out of the end zone. Already a couple of bad special teams miscues. You don't want to over the head of the punter snap or a low ball to the punter and get it blocked. And now you're down 21-0 real quick. So Coach Golden's going to keep it safe here and just try to maybe get a first down or get out of the end zone on a punt.
You dealt the throw in this situation. From what we've seen thus far in the first 15 minutes of this one, and they run it up the gut for minimal yardage, and they're going to be forced to punt the football away.
Devin Wilson again there on the tackle. He's been the guy in the Dartmouth defense right now.
Carry again, brought down by Devin Wilson.
I did see the Stang quarterback Lucas Sincata, the junior out of Tiverton, Rhode Island, attempt to throw in the first possession, rolling out on the 3rd down play, but was unable to find a receiver. Ended up throwing the ball pretty much out of bounds. Not what they do, not what they want to do. But, you know, if you're not getting anything at all, I guess you got nothing to lose by putting it up on occasion. But, again, it's not their bread and butter, not what they want to do, and it just makes it more difficult.
Well, they got to go for it here at 4th down. Maybe they try to draw the Indians offside. Well, they're going to turn, and they get themselves a first down.
Nice play.
Gutsy call by the head coach across the way. Nick Highland, the ball carrier.
Nick Highland on the carry.
Picked up the first down.
I like that call, giving it to Nick Highland, senior out of Westport. 4th and 3, you're down by 2 touchdowns. What difference does it make what the final score might be in this game? You're going to just kick the ball and give it back to the Indians at like the 50-yard line anyway. So go for it, try to get it. I mean, it was gutsy because it was you needed 4 yards. But a good call, and they still got the ball, first down.
We'll keep it on the ground into the arms of Highland once again. Gain of a couple. 2nd and long. TJ Pickering in on the tackle. Now we got something going. We have a Dartmouth police coming up. And Andrew, he can only be coming for one person.
Yeah, can I hide? Can I hide?
Yeah.
You guys have the right to remain silent.
And the Indians just rushing across the line of scrimmage that time, tackling the ball carrier Morales. He didn't have a chance, and that's a loss of 3. It'll bring up 3rd down and 11.
Well, again, we've talked about it before, just an uphill climb here for this Bishop Stang team. And look at that penetration by the Indian defensive front, just battling right through. And using that senior leadership to get in there and make the play. And
Wilson was on the tackle.
Dartmouth Indians are just letting him have absolutely nothing, like we expect. A lot of that's experience. You know, you talk about, you know, what Stang can do. Well, you're looking at a bigger, stronger, faster, more experienced defensive front, and that's why it makes it difficult to even play call. What are you going to do to try to beat that?
That was Baron Dutra that time, defensively for the Indians. There's Sin Carter rolling, far side, throws in front of his bench.
He got his pass.
And that is complete. But it's going to be short of the first down. Stang fans with a big roar across the way. Tingley Prince. There he is, number 11 on the reception. Here's the Spartan student section across the way. And Stang now is looking at a 4th down and 1.
Well, I'm looking at the roster, gentlemen. Jackson Tingley Priest is a junior out of Dartmouth, Massachusetts, so perhaps he's got fans on both sides here tonight. Happy to see him make that reception.
Yeah, nice play. Nice rollout call. Good call by Stang there. I like that call.
4th and short now for the Spartans. Get that ball at a 30-yard line.
Quick hit to the fullback. Here's their play.
And you called it, and it looks like they got the first down. Yep, they see the referee there moving the chain behind them.
Mike Golden on the carry.
Golden picked up the first down. They've advanced the ball out to the Dartmouth High School 31-yard line. More importantly, Andrew, they're keeping the ball away from Dartmouth.
They are, but unfortunately they're, you know, uphill battle. It's, you know, first down, second down, third down. You know, got to go for it on 4th down. There's no big hit plays. There's no big runs. Dartmouth, I'm sure Dartmouth's fine with this. I mean, they really haven't moved the ball much, you know, and there's only 5 minutes left to go in this second quarter. So, I mean, good for Dartmouth, and keep it up.
Here's Sin Carter. He's being rushed, and he's just going to throw this right into the Dartmouth high bench. It's not a receiver near there. No flag down. Again, a heavy rush from Dartmouth High.
Devin Wilson again coming after quarterback.
Well, let's take a look at it again. It's like Niagara Falls coming in over here to see Sin Carter rolling out, this time to his left. And you got like 3 green jerseys coming at him. You know, they're moving the ball. Graham White really coming hard against Sin Carter. You know, they were running the ball, eating the clock and all that. And they had back-to-back first downs, only on that one pass. So if this had worked, that's fine. But now even a tougher situation, now you're at 2nd down and you're not even 2 or 3 yards into the series. So now you need a first down with 10 yards to go, and that's going to make it even tougher. But let's see what they draw up. They've been moving the ball slowly, but in a grind, not easily.
And they hand it off, and this is Golden. He might have got back to the line of scrimmage. Planted right there.
Devin Wilson again, my guy. He's been all over the field.
Devin Wilson, number 53.
No gain on the play. It will be 3rd and 10.
Coach Zexer's got those linebackers working.
Interesting to see what they draw up here. A 3rd and down, it would be an obvious passing situation ordinarily. You hand the ball off, even on a good play, maybe a grind out 4 or 5 the way it's been going. So I don't know. I think they got to try to put it up, but again, that's not what they do, and it's going to be tough. We'll see.
Well, the couple passes they've thrown have been rollouts. And here they go again. They're just going to throw it, a parallel pass. It's caught and knocked out of bounds. Michael Golden. He's going to be well shy. Patrick Crane, one of the captains, linebacker, in on coverage for the Indians.
Nice play here. Staying fake to the fullback, throw up to the flat for a Golden. Gets about 4 or 5 yards, puts him in decent field position for Stang. I'm sure they're going to go for it again here on 4th down. And hopefully, if you're Dartmouth, you stop me and get the ball back. Too many 4th and longs they've received. They're going to punt, looks like.
Well, it was aggressive going for it on 4th and I think 4, but 4th and 7, maybe they figured, hey, that was too much to ask. 4:25 to go in the half. They want to get the ball deep and try to get into the locker room at 14-0 if possible.
Low snap and a short kick takes a Bishop Stang bounce. down there at the 31-yard line. It'll be
Ball is
touched
down
there
on the 31-yard line
by
of
the
Bishop
Spartans,
Stang.
Tyrone Gomes.
By Tyrone Gomes.
And the Indians will have the
The
football
Indians will
back
take
with
over
4 minutes
first
and
and 10.
14 seconds left to go in the
On their
opening
own
half. Our
31-yard
score here
line.
from the stadium. Dartmouth High School 14, Bishop Stang High School nothing. Welcome our viewers. Of course, you great folks in the town of Dartmouth and the folks along the way watching around the world on Dartmouth Community Media Facebook. Thank you for tuning in. A lot of alumni tuning in. Andrew, you happen to be one of them.
I am.
And the Spartans with a big defensive
Kelly
play on
keeps
that
the
first
ball.
down. And that hasn't happened to the Indians much. Colin McCarthy making a stop, loss of 1.
Looks like a tough snap back to Will Kelly. Kind of botched his play up a little bit for Dartmouth. Good play by Stang. Puts
Loss
it
on the
Dartmouth
play back
me,
to
loss of
the
about 8.
Indian
Excuse me.
2nd and 18 here for the
23-yard
Indians.
line.
But if you're Dartmouth, though, I feel like you can get this first down. I mean, the way their offense has been moving, Will Kelly can throw it.
2nd and 18.
I wouldn't panic if I was
for the
Dartmouth.
Indians.
I'd still try to get that first down with a couple plays here.
There's Kelly.
Kelly on the keep.
Kelly still on his feet. Kelly scooches his way up to the 40-yard line. He'll be a couple of yards short of the first down.
Nice play by Kelly.
Exactly what Andrew was saying, right? You know that you can move the ball. You're facing a 2nd down and 20. And off goes your quarterback, who so multifaceted. What a great athlete. And he can run the ball himself. Little fake up the middle. Goes around the side and easily, what feels like easily, picks up 18.
40-yard line.
3rd down and short here for Dartmouth. And they run it right up the gut. That's Ethan Marks. He's knocking people over across midfield and down to the Spartans' 42-yard line.
All the way
Whoa.
down to the 41-yard line.
He's running with some authority tonight.
Bishop Stang.
What's nice to see is Dartmouth doesn't look like there's any panic. 2nd and 18, no problem. Kelly's all set. He's comfortable. Ethan Marks now, he knows he's going to get the first down, running hard, downhill. No one touches him for 6 or 7 yards past the sticks. And Stang's just taking a ride right there.
Timeout on the field. Dartmouth.
So the Indians take a timeout. Again, we want to thank our viewers along Facebook Live, and I want you to tune in to see the Paul Santos show live. Now, he has an array of guests, Andrew. None of them famous, I can tell you that. And you tune in and watch the show, and the first part of it is almost like, well, you know, you young people out there, you don't remember Johnny Carson, but those old people like me,
Again,
and he has like a little
we've got
skit going on.
downstairs.
You know, he thinks he's funny, but the viewers turn that part off until the guests come in. So, what night is the show on, Paul?
Well, live it's on Monday night at 7 p.m. on New Bedford Guide, Fall River Reporter, New Bedford Live, Paul Santos Live Facebook page, and Paul Santos Live YouTube channel. So, you know, you have a chance to stumble on it more often by mistake. But, you know, we wanted to get Jim Thompson on for a while, and, you know, we had to try to fit him in because, you know, we have this big, long list, you know, of people that are trying to get on. But anyway, no, Jim came on very graciously, and we had a lot of fun. I learned a lot about your career and your background that I didn't know, even all the years that I've worked with you here in the Dartmouth Community Media booth. I got to dig in and learn a little bit about you. It was fun.
Yeah, it really was on your end.
I loved it. I was telling people, hey, you know, we're going to have this guest, we're going to have that guest, and you were sitting there saying, don't bother coming down here. It was great. Yeah, we learned a lot about Jim. You got to check it out.
1st and 10. Off the play fake, Kelly's got
Kelly
it.
on the carry.
Kelly's inside the 30-yard line and smartly goes out of bounds. But he picks up nearly 13 in the
Knocked out of
first down.
bounds by Highland.
I think we've got our first poor call by the referee this season.
Yeah, we got a hold against the Indians.
I think it's going to be on number 13, Baron Duch on the outside here. I didn't see a hold when the play occurred, but apparently the referee did. They're always in great position and great shape.
Holding against the Indians.
By the way, Jim, that show's only as good as the guest that comes on, you know.
How were the ratings? I'm just curious.
The higher quality of the guests, the better. I think we got maybe 11 or 12,000 on your show there.
So it makes it 1st and 11
I didn't know
for
it
the
had
Indians.
that much family
From
still
their-
living.
The Bishop Stang 43-yard line.
Here's Kelly off the ball fake, and he gets it down to the
Kelly
40-yard
again on
line.
the carry.
Looks like Will Kelly didn't think he was down on that play, and referee blew the whistle.
Lally on the
Yeah, I'd like
tackle.
to get a replay of that. I would agree with you. If we can get a closer look from the Dartmouth media staff.
He was not down.
He was
put
not
his,
down.
Another great call by these referees, I tell you.
Andrew turning into Tommy Heinsohn at a young age, Paul. Here's Kelly. 3-step drop. Here's the rush. And Will just going to ditch it along the near sideline. Nearly intercepted
pass is
by
incomplete.
Nick Highland right here in front of the Indian bench. Got to bring up 3rd down and 8 now for Dartmouth High School.
The Indians are capable of moving the ball in large chunks, as we pointed out before, but from a Stang point of view, you're down to 128 to go in the half, right? If you can just keep them off the board and get into the locker room at 14-0, that'd be a pretty good accomplishment considering the advantage that Dartmouth has here. Look at this rush on Kelly, and not a good play there by Kelly. I know he wanted to get rid of the ball, but that Highland was very, very close to picking that ball off down in front of us here on the near side.
Yeah, it didn't look like there's anybody in front of him either if he did.
Here's Marks blasting his way through,
Marks on the
twisting and
carry.
turning. He's got himself a 1st down.
Gets down to the
Gain of 10.
Another hard run by Marks. He gets downhill. It's tough for Stang to stop him.
He's one tough runner, Paul.
It will be 1st and 10.
Yeah, definitely running
for
with a
the
lot of
Indians on the Bishop Stang.
power and putting his head down,
29
spinning,
yard line.
turning,
Timeout.
carrying players with him.
Dartmouth.
And that was a big 1st down for the Indians because Stang really almost looked like they were holding him a little bit better than they had earlier in the game, and we're down to 1:17 to go. And now it feels like Dartmouth has plenty of time to get into the end zone for
1
another
minute and
touchdown.
17 seconds to go in the
Isn't it
first
great
half.
for 18 months we've all been basically shut in and doing our very best in the community to be safe, not only for yourself and your family, but for your neighbors and friends. To see a big crowd out, it's like we lost a year and a half of our lives. And it's just wonderful to see, especially the young kids across the way, a lot of adults here, parents. It's a special evening, Paul.
I expected a big crowd when I was parking my car. I generally get here, about an hour before the game, and I parked much farther away than I usually do, and I was just kind of walking in. It's a beautiful night. People are in T-shirts. There you see the kids. Everybody's walking to the game, and I was thinking to myself, wow, I missed this. Everybody misses it. And so it's nice to have it back, and hopefully we'll keep it back.
And there's a low snap. Kelly picks it up, and that play was botched up from the center.
Kelly on the
Low
carry.
snap off the jet sweep, and by the time Kelly was
Right
ready to
now,
hand it
right
off,
on
Andrew,
Lally.
Marks had gone by him.
Yeah, this offense is
Loss of 3 on the play.
based off timing and motion. And when the low snap happens, Kelly
It will be
can't do much
2nd
with that. And
and
the
12.
defense just cues on the ball, and there's nothing to do there. I look for Dom to take a shot here, I think.
50 seconds to go in the opening half.
Spreading it out.
Here's Kelly. Here's the rush again. Throws. Got a man in and out of the hands of the intended
Kelly's
receiver.
pass intended for Graham White is
That was
incomplete.
Graham White along the near sideline. Couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah, plenty of time here for Kelly. Nice play by the Stang defender here, breaking up the ball.
It's like Alex DiGiamo, the senior defensive back out of Assonet, getting involved in that play. 3rd and 12. We'll see what the Indians can do here. Again, it seems like a lot of times they're able to pick up big chunks of yardage. We'll see if they can do it here.
Kelly looks like a middle screen, and he
Oh.
always shoots his man. Oh, that was well set up, but I think
Kelly's pass is
may have had some
incomplete.
interior linemen downfield. Let's see.
Penalty marker on the play. Initial call is an eligible receiver downfield.
Well, that wasn't going to happen anyway, but Andrew, that could have been a touchdown. That was a great call.
Yeah, he had 3 or 4 Dartmouth linemen in front of him, middle of the field, wide open. Good call. Just too many men downfield. They got. And usually it's a count to 3 as they teach them, and then go.
5-yard penalty,
I
illegal.
think they all went on 2.
Man downfield.
There were 3 of them, Paul, in the Stang secondary, and I'm sure the safeties are going, what the heck is this? These guys all have numerals on them in the 70s.
I'll tell you, Patrick Crane was open right in the middle of that screen, and Will Kelly was not able to get him the ball, but if he was able to get the ball, he's a dangerous player, and he had really nobody around him for about 10 yards, and if he could have got the ball into the hands of Crane, Crane was ready to do some serious damage. Down to 37 seconds, and the ball is still at the 37-yard line of Stang. You almost felt like the Indians were going to be deeper into enemy territory by now. Stang has really made him work on this drive.
Yeah, it's been a strange game right from the opening kickoff. The Indians' first play of the season, Paul. They run it off tackle. Marks runs it in for 46 yards and a touchdown. And then both sides just trading turnovers and not much happening. The Indians, you feel like, should be up by at least another score, but aren't.
Yeah, exactly. That's correct. And, you know, even right here, even in this drive right here, having said, okay, they did make some mistakes on special teams. They fumbled the ball a couple of times. They gave Stang a turnover and put them in a great position in their own territory. Having said all that, they're still up 14-0. They take that 2nd and 18 and turn it into an immediate first down. So you're thinking, okay, they've gathered themselves. They're going to come down the field right now and just kind of mow right down into enemy territory. But the Stang defense, you got to give them credit. They were putting more pressure on Crane. They made it a little bit harder on the Dartmouth offense, and that's why they've kept them off the board. 37 seconds, though. This can certainly flip the other way in a heartbeat. So interesting to see how this half ends.
I mean, Andrew, if you're Coach Golden, you got a young team. You hold them here. You go to at the break, 14-0 trailing. I think you're happy.
He's either going to be happy or sad, because if Dartmouth scores, say they get the ball in the second half, they could be down 21 or 28 real quick. So big play here.
Was declined, makes it 4th and 12.
So they declined the penalty.
Ball is on the
up 4th down and 12.
Bishop Stang 32-yard line.
Low snap again. Here's the rush. Kelly throwing it long, deep, end zone. Just out of the reach of his intended receiver.
Dutra had a step.
Hold.
Dutra had a step on him, just ran out of space.
Intended for Graham White is incomplete.
Looked like Greg Morales had the coverage there in the corner for Bishop
Greg
Stang.
Morales on the coverage.
And it might have been a little
Bishop
bit of a
Stang
bump
will take
there,
over
but
on downs. It will be first and
no
10
bump.
for
Ball goes out of
Bishop
bounds.
Stang
And it was not going to be caught anyway,
on their
regardless.
own 33-yard line.
So it's Bishop Stang getting the turnover. So that's a really big moment in the game here for Bishop Stang.
First and 10 Spartans. That's about what you figured. They were just going to run it into the line. Sincola, the quarterback,
Carter on the
just
carry
want to kill the clock.
sneak.
There've been so many turnovers in this first half. I don't know why they just don't kneel on the ball.
You know, it's interesting. I have to say, right, when I looked at all the players that were coming back for Dartmouth, all those seniors, I thought, well, okay, this team's going to be kind of like a well-oiled machine, although it takes a while to get into the groove. You know, the great coaches and the great teams always play their best football at the end of the season, not at the beginning. But I think if you're Coach White, you're looking at this and you're saying, hey, wait a minute, we got a lot to clean up.
I would agree. So we're at the half. Dartmouth High School leads it by a score of 14-0. Stay tuned, everyone, for the award-winning Dartmouth High School Marching Band. They are fantastic. We hope you enjoy it. We'll be back with all the second half action in about 20 minutes. What's that?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our football game between the Bishop Stang High School Spartans and your Dartmouth High School Indians. Now the Dartmouth High School Marching Band will perform their 2021 production, Thorns and Petals.
Look at this. Oh yeah, I think it was Ethan.
She walks back.
Maddie, please go on. Yeah, there's no Vogue sign. What?
Drum major, is the band ready? Drum major, you may take the field for performance. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dartmouth High School Marching Band and Color Guard. I'm John Nunes, your announcer, and on behalf of the Dartmouth High School football team and band members, we thank you for your attendance here this evening.
Well, if that didn't bring you out of your seats, you folks in the great town of Dartmouth or watching on Facebook Live, you talk about high school bands. They're one of the prominent bands, obviously in Massachusetts, but they've won many national awards. As Dartmouth High coaching staff looks on as we begin to call all the action here in the upcoming second half. Paul, first half, any good thoughts, ideas?
Well, you can see the score. Let's start with that, 14-0 Dartmouth. And from the Dartmouth point of view, it really should be more, because when the game started, Indians were dominating in every facet of the game. Stang went 3 and out in their first possession. Dartmouth got the ball. First play from scrimmage. First play of the 2021 season, a handoff to Ethan Marks, the senior, and he just went untouched. 46 yards into the end zone for a touchdown. Kind of a gut punch to the young Stang team, who was thinking, well, we got to kind of keep the ball away from them, grind it out, run the ball, run the veer.
But then the Indians after that, after Dartmouth went out again, 3 and out, Indians kept getting the ball back, fumbling the ball, not moving the ball, there were a lot of problems. But eventually they got the ball, moved it down, and quarterback Will Kelly is a very great athlete. Last year, good passer. This year, running the ball from the 11-yard line in for a touchdown for the 14-0 lead. Looked like the Indians were going to go in for a third score, but 2 things happened. Number one, Stang got a number of first downs, which we hadn't seen earlier in the game, keeping the ball away from Dartmouth, which was one of their goals. And then secondly, when Dartmouth got the ball back, Stang was putting more pressure on the quarterback and causing some havoc, and it resulted in the Indians not getting that third score. So as we said, for a 14-0 game, the Indians actually have to be a little bit less happy than Stang, because Dartmouth, with all the seniors, they're supposed to be a well-oiled machine by now. But there's a lot to still work on for Dartmouth, even though they have the 14-0 lead and are capable of blowing them out here in the second half.
Andrew, your thoughts to start the second?
I agree with a lot of what Paul said. Dartmouth just got to keep doing what they're doing. Their defense has been outstanding against this veer option. Hopefully the Indians get up to a quick start here, get up 21-0, and just cruise to victory.
So the Spartans will kick it away. Indians on top, 14-0. So we get set to call all the action here in the second half. And it's a low bouncing kick, and the Indians are just going to down at their 34-yard line. We'll have it 1st and 10. Will Kelly's the quarterback, Patrick Crane, Ethan Marks, Will Chow are the runners.
See if the Indians can clean a few things up in the second half here and not make so many mistakes and kind of get a little momentum coming down the field.
It will be 1st and 10 for the Indians on their own 34-yard line.
Had an outstanding first half. Very elusive off that fake jet sweep.
Will Kelly at quarterback for the Indians.
And before the snap of the football, we have motion called against the Indians. And Paul, that's been an issue tonight. I coach Rick White, first game, you shouldn't have many jitters, but they've made an awful lot of mistakes.
Yeah, especially for a senior-dominated team. They have about 17 of them back. I think there's only a few players that were graduated and are no longer with the team. So they really didn't expect it, even though it's the first game, and you tend to clean those things up as the season goes along. Because you have this senior-dominated team, a very experienced team, really don't expect to see those kind of things.
1st and 15 for Kelly. He's going to keep it. He's got room for the outside. Kelly still on his feet down the sidelines, across midfield and run out of bounds in front of the Bishop Stang High School bench. And that's plenty for the first down.
Will Kelly is in control of this offense. Waits for the blocks to be set up. Good blocking on the outside there. Knows when to step out of bounds without taking a hard shot there. Smart play. Good blocking on the outside. No holding. Once he's by you, let him go.
That's a play that Stang has no answer for. We've seen them run that a number of times tonight with the same result.
Gain of 22, 1st and 10 now. And ball carrier Ethan Marks barrels his way down to the 40. 2nd down and 4 for the Indians. Just underway here in the third quarter. I'm Chip Thompson alongside Paul Santos and Andy Thompson. And we welcome you fine folks in the town of Dartmouth. And if you're tuning in live,
2nd and 4.
On Dartmouth Media Community, whatever we call ourselves nowadays, Facebook, we welcome you as well. Oops, Spartans came across. Coach White's looking out at his offense, saying, come on, fellas, that's against them. Let's move those chains. And now the referees are going to get together. Indian players are clapping.
Foul, offside, Bishop Stang.
That'll give the Indians a first down.
5-yard penalty. And that will be enough for an Indian first down. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Indians.
So Dartmouth has it. 1st and 10 from the Bishop Stang 35-yard line. Clock is stopped with 11 minutes and 14 seconds to go. This game started at 7. It's 20 past 8. Andrew and I have dinner plans. Might be breakfast at this point.
Luckily, both teams are going to just run the ball in the second half.
There's a handoff to Will Chow, his first touch of the
Chow
game.
on the carry.
And Chow is out close to the first down
Mark
marker.
out of bounds.
He's going to be short by a yard, gain of 9.
Nice read option there by Kelly. Gives it to Chow on the outside.
Second and 2.
Kelly's been keeping that at most of this game, so it's a nice little mix-up. Keep them on their toes on the
27-yard line.
Bishop Stang defense.
Passing game hasn't been much of a factor, but they haven't really had to do it. But the few times they tried it, they haven't really been successful. But again, they haven't had to do it either.
And the Spartans, they jump once again.
Whistle on the play, dead ball foul, offside, Bishop Stang.
So
5-yard penalty, that'll be enough for an Indian first down. It'll be first and 10 for
game of
Dartmouth.
mistakes, Paul.
On the Bishop
If you're
Stang
Bishop Stang, you
22-yard
can't
line.
afford to give the Indians 10 free yards and 2 first downs.
No, absolutely. And the way they ended the half, they ended the half on a little bit of an up note, so they're probably thinking, okay, Dartmouth's going to get the ball. We'll do the same thing. We'll frustrate them. They're not expecting us to hold them, but we're helping them, and that's not what you need at all.
Here's Marks. No, excuse me. Going
Will
in
Kelly on the carry.
for a touchdown
all
is
the
Will
way into
Kelly.
the end zone. Touchdown. A
Absolutely had me
22-yard
faked out.
touchdown run for Will Kelly.
And from 22 yards out, Kelly takes it in.
Kelly goes untouched into the goal line, finishes the run hard again. Nobody there. Good blocking downfield. No one even close to him for 15 yards before he gets to the goal line. And
It was a great ball fake because I was watching 4 guys from Stang tackle Marks.
Same exact play. They have no answer for. Every time he does that, he makes the little inside fake handoff and he runs around the side. That play has been successful about 3 or 4 times tonight. Not just successful. We're talking about 20, 25-yard gains.
And the
Point
kick is
after
good.
touchdown is up and through, so with
10 minutes
10:56 to
and
go
56 seconds to
in
go
the third.
quarter.
It's Dartmouth
It
High
is
School
Dartmouth
21, Bishop Stang High School
nothing.
nothing. It's about what we expected, Paul. A young Spartan team, a couple of key mistakes, giving the Indians 10 yards off two offsides penalties. You might not see a defensive line penalty like that in the whole game, never mind 2 in a row.
Yeah, absolutely, and it just kind of helps the Indians, who already have the big advantage coming into the game anyway. I think if you're Coach White, you have to look at it and say, all right, you're a little bit happier with that drive. They went right down the field. They're still making mistakes, but maybe a little bit better than what we saw in the first half. And you just have to learn from it and move on. I'm sure they're going to work at practice to try to improve, because as the season goes on, they're going to be meeting opponents who are stronger opponents, and if you make those kind of mistakes, it's not going to work against a better team.
So Louis Freitas set the kick it away for the Indians, and the Spartans a little late getting on the field here.
Louis Freitas, the kickoff for the Indians.
Giamano and Morales back deep. And this is Morales. Morales
on
looking
the
for running room
return.
along the far sideline. Crosses the 30 up. Crosses the 30, and they're going to knock him out of bounds right about there.
best field position Stang's had off a kickoff. They haven't muffed one in the second half, and that's what happens. You don't turn it over or fumble it off the kick and start on the 2-yard line.
On the tackle.
They're going to say he stepped out of bounds.
Ball
back
is on
at
the 24-yard line of Bishop Stang. It will be first and 10 for the Spartans on their own
Coach
24-yard
Coolman's over
line.
there talking to the referee like, I think I lost 5 yards.
So if Stang gets back to their bread and butter, they were moving the ball a little bit better in the second quarter when they were using their offensive line and using those big backs.
And they run it on first down. Not much. It'll be up second down and 10. You got to keep the cameras on the Stang offense. No sense watching the game.
I saw Stang try to pass a couple of times. They did get it was a 5-yard gain on a rollout to the right. A couple of other times they threw incomplete on a rollout. They've always had the quarterback roll out to try to give him a little bit more time. He's been under pressure most of the time. There was one time where he was under tremendous pressure and just had to throw the ball out of bounds. So really not a big option. There's not a lot you can do. What lot you can draw up when you're going against a superior team like they are tonight.
And the Indians just have stopped that Bishop Stang inside running game, Andrew. It's basically a halt that time. Morales
on the carry, met by
back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
Yeah, all night to that side. Devin Wilson has had a game. You know, most people want to dream about as a junior getting a start this year. You know, fullback's coming downhill at him. He's made every play to his side. He's beating his man every play. That's a tough side to run on right now for if you're staying. And staying again in the 3rd and long, not their bread and butter.
As we said, Indians are loaded with upperclassmen. You see on the defensive line, Souza and Miller, seniors. Wilson, junior. Dutra, Chow, Crane, Martin, all seniors. Marks and Kelly in the secondary, seniors. Not one sophomore.
The pitch to Morales, trying to find room to the boundary side of the field and knocked off his pins just shy of the 30-yard line. Will bring up 4th down now for Bishop Stang. And about 5 yards to go.
The 30-yard line, it will be
early in the game, they went for it on 4th down. Actually deeper in their territory from where the ball sits now. And it looks like they'll go for it. No, they're going to go in punt formation. Kept the offense out there. Giamano drops back to punt it away for Stang. Marks back deep for the Indians. Stands at his own 40. High snap. Short kick. This might not make it to midfield. And it plops right down there. Short of midfield. The Indians are going to have great field position. They're going to start.
It's going to be down at the
around the 47-yard line of Bishop Stang. They lead in this one by a score of 21-0. Thank you for joining in, watching this telecast of Dartmouth High School football. Glad to have you alongside.
A couple of touchdown runs by quarterback Will Kelly.
Hey guys, you can't
One for 11
here.
yards in the first half, another for 22 yards here in the second half of that 46-yard touchdown run by Ethan Marks, along with the extra points
1st and 10 for
by
the
Oliver
Indians.
Taradash, account for the comfortable 21-0 lead for the Indians.
And before the Indians can get this play off, Coach Golden,
Timeout,
unlike what he
Bishop
saw
Stang.
in his defensive lineman, calls a timeout, and this game continues to drag on. We're into it for an hour and a half, and we still have over 8 minutes to go in the 3rd. Now, Andrew, you've known Coach Golden a long time. He's got a great reputation. He was up at Catholic Memorial, a couple other Catholic schools. Now the athletic director up the street of Bishop Stang. And I don't think there's a coach locally or a person you run into that ever says a bad word about the guy. You know him pretty well.
I do. He's one of the nicest guys you want to meet. And he cares about every kid on the team, whether you're the number 1 guy or the number 40 guy. He's going to want you to do your best, be the best person you can be. He does care a lot about football, but he cares about making young men better men down the road. Wants every kid to succeed. Just would do anything for anybody. Just comes from a good background down at the Mather with his father, and can't say a bad word about Dennis.
5 years now he's been at the helm at Bishop Stang, which I'm surprised every time you ask a question like that, it always seems longer because the time goes by so quick. 5 years as the coach and athletic director.
Here's Marks.
Marks on the
He's
carry.
down to the 40-yard line. Solid run of 5. You know, Paul, we lost 18 months of our lives. You know, so you kind of lose track of how long. I mean, you bump into people and you go, my goodness, I haven't seen you in 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what happens even more is if you see somebody that's like, say, you know, you have a friend that has a kid that's 12 or 13 years old, and now you see him at 15 years old, you know how much they change. You're like, oh my God, look at, you know, your kid here. Grew like a weed and looks different. And yeah, the time goes by. But yeah, you're right. When you take that lop of time off the table, where you're not seeing anybody personally, just to like over FaceTime and Zoom and stuff like that, it creates like a weird way to try to ascertain the time. It's nothing like we could have ever predicted that this happening.
Well, I don't think you could have predicted that 3 times in the 3rd quarter. The Stang defense would jump offside and give the Indians free first downs.
Yeah, it's been a sloppy game all the way around. Again, early season, first game. both coaches will certainly have things to work on in practice.
Here's Marks. Big
Marks
hole,
on the
still
carry.
on his feet. Just running like a runaway
All the
freight
way
train down to the Spartan 15-yard line. Gain of 21.
14-yard
Gets
line
downhill
brought down
quick.
by
No one
Highland.
touches him for the first 15 yards of this carry. It's just the offensive line is just dominating right now. I think Stang's getting tired. Look at this. Look at the scoreboard. 21-0. Big hole. Nobody there. Doesn't get touched until the safety came up, and 21 yards later, he's got a big game for the Indians.
Here he goes again.
Again, Marks
He's
on the
just
carry.
barreling into people. Down inside the 10-yard line.
I think he enjoys that. I think he enjoys
Brought down by
the
Joe Langford.
running over some linebackers and laying the wood.
And as you said earlier, these kids are practicing in shells.
Gain
They're
of
not in
6
full
on the
pads.
play.
Not a
It
lot
will
of
be
tackling in
second and
practice
4.
anymore.
Ball is on
Concussion
Bishop Stang
protocols,
9-yard
etc.
line.
Now you have live action. You see a guy like this, you don't want to tackle him.
No, and for a guy like Mark, it's probably nice to hit somebody beside your buddy on the team.
Right. And here's Kelly off the ball
Kelly
fake.
on the keeper.
He's going to waltz in.
He's into the end
And there
zone.
comes a late flag. And the Spartans are saying it's going to go
9-yard
against the
touchdown
Indians.
run, but there is a penalty flag on the play. Official call is holding
Kelly
against
comes
the
up
Indians.
limping. And you see this in high school a lot. The guy's in the end zone for a touchdown, and then they throw the flag. So let's see. All right. So what did that guy see?
I think
What?
these referees are saying they're turning. He's grabbing the jersey and turning the defender.
Run that back again.
That's what he said the last time he called. I saw him talking to Coach White. He was saying he's grabbing the shoulder pads and turning him.
All right. Let's see if this happens. What's 34, I believe?
I think it's on one on the outside here, the wide receiver on the edge.
Brings the ball
Throws it
back
right
to
at
the
him.
11-yard line. It will be 2nd and 6.
Goodness gracious. You gotta be. Wow. Here's Chow. He's got
Chow
room.
on the carry.
And he's going to go in for
And
his
he's
first
into the end
touchdown
zone.
of the year.
Touchdown.
Will Chow
Will Chow.
ups the Indian score to
An
27 to
11-yard
nothing.
touchdown run.
Nobody on the outside for Stang. Everybody's blocked up. No holding there, just a big hole.
Danny Martin, the left guard, taking his guy out, but that's been the case all game.
Extra point is up.
This extra point is good.
And
And
Oliver
with 6
Teradash
minutes and
is perfect
17
on the night.
seconds to go in the third quarter.
6 minutes
It
and
is Dartmouth
17 seconds
28,
to go
Bishop Stang,
in the
nothing.
third. The route is on here at the stadium. Indians up by 28.
Be interesting to see if they put Will Kelly back on defense. Looked like he was cramping in the last rush he had there. The touchdown that got called back. If you're Rick Whitehead, you might want to hold him on defense. It's first game of the year. You don't want to have him go down or get injured.
Coach White having a nice chat with the touchdown maker, Will Chow, his first of the season. And for these kids on both sides, Paul, just a sense of normalcy. I mean, that must even be strange, right? I mean, it's 18 months, you're really not practicing. Last year you played with masks on.
Yeah, you really have to feel bad for the seniors that were seniors last year or the year before. It really put a dent in the high school experience. So years later, when you look back at your junior, senior year, you didn't really have a junior, senior year like we all remember. This year, the fans are here, the football players are here, the cheerleaders are down there, the band is on the field, the parents are in the stands, the friends are in the stands, and that hasn't happened in what feels like a long time.
Here's Morales. He's changing directions.
Morales on the carry.
Running for his life. Advances it up to the 20-yard
He gets
line
just
where the
short of
Spartans
the
will have it
20-yard
first
line.
and 10. They trail now by a score of 28 to nothing. We welcome our viewers. Dartmouth Community Cable Television And of course, you people watching Facebook Live, thank you for tuning in. Not getting any reports from the truck poll how many people are following live. Last check was about 18,206.
Wow, that's pretty good. Right up there with the Paul Santos live show. By the way, if you didn't see the interview with Jim Thompson, I'm going to tell you how you can see it. Very, very interesting interview. It was we kind of went off the rails a little bit.
Here's the coach's son, Michael Golden.
Mike Golden on the carry.
Tough kid.
Yeah, just go to New Bedford Guide, scroll back. Paul Santos live show with guest JT the Hilarious. I think we put down the hilarious JT Jim Thompson. And it was a very enjoyable experience.
Certainly was.
There was something a little bit different. You could say that, right?
It was different.
Yeah, it was different, yeah. Well, the same old, you know, what do you want with that?
Second down and long.
Morales on the carry.
And getting tackled in the backfield once again is Michael Golden. He's going to lose 4 or 5.
Nice play by Ethan Marks coming up from his free safety spot.
Morales on the carry, brought down by a host of Indians.
Here comes Marks. Keys on the fullback. Golden makes the play, makes the stop in the backfield. Nice play.
You know, Andrew, there's been a couple of Indian teams in the past few years when they had a down year, there was just no speed. And it's like the Spartans have no team speed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough offense to run when you're down. It's a tough offense to run when you're not as fast or not as strong as the other team. You get down 28-0. There's really not many plays in the playbook that are going to get you chunk yardage. This young Stang team, I'm sure they don't want to turn the ball over or do something stupid, and it's just a tough way to come back.
Third and long. They're going to throw it here, near side. Marks back there, ball's incomplete. Germano is the intended receiver. Marks was there defending for the Indians. And that'll bring up 4th down and 13 now for the Spartans.
Yeah, not a bad idea, right? It was 3rd down and long, put the ball up in the air, and, you know, there was double coverage, but hey, put the ball up there in this particular situation, see if your receiver can make a play. And he was definitely covered very, very well, but, you know, sometimes you throw it up in the traffic light that in this particular situation, and your receiver can get up there and make a play, keep the chains moving, but it didn't happen. The chances were low, but it was better than handing the ball off. And once again, Bishop Stang is in the punt formation.
Yeah, you heard that's intercepted. It's probably just as good as a punt at this point.
This time a good kick, and Marks will take it from his 48. And he'll advance it down to the Spartans 38, and now we've got a little tiff going on.
And there we go.
And you don't want to see that.
And that's the coach's kid. I'm sure that's frowned upon in the coach's house. I'm sure you'll hear it. Coach Zexer's giving him a little earful right now.
You know, there was a time when these teams would not play each other for, I think, 5, 6, 7, 8 years or whatever. And I think when Bill Cavanaugh got to Stang, an educator in the Dartmouth school system for 30, 35 years, he became the head coach over there, and I think he and Ricky got together and got the teams back playing on the football field.
Yeah, it's a great thing to see. I think the only sport that they played in was hockey, and when they didn't play in all the other sports, you know, you mentioned I enjoy doing the hockey. I was thinking, oh, you can't take that away. The rink is like loaded like it is tonight here in football. That is just a big, big event, that game against Stang in the hockey arena, and that one managed to survive. But then when they brought it back into football, that was a great thing to see. And we've had some great games. You talked about last-second games, the last one here at the stadium, and the one that they played at UMass Dartmouth right down to the wire. They played some great games over the last few years, and it always brings out this big, big crowd. And, you know, right here, first game of the year, I think it was like 70 degrees at kickoff. It's probably like 68 right now. What a perfect night to come out and see football here in the town of Dartmouth.
Well, the good news is you have 2 of the top area coaches who definitely will settle their teams down. It was just a little minor scuffle.
First and 10 for the Indians.
But I know both of them pretty well, and I think we'll finish this game on a good note.
Yeah, sometimes frustration takes hold a little bit, not defending the situation. You know, Stang is losing pretty badly, and, you know, maybe there was some frustration there.
Indians keep it on the ground and advancing it out.
Patrick Crane on
A
the
nice
carry.
game is Patrick Crane, and he's out for a gain of 8 or 9 yards.
Nice run there by Crane. I think it's his first touch of the game. Tried to get him on that screen early in the game and missed on it, but
Gain of 9 on
We went to the
play.
coach and said, hey, you gave it to Chow for the touchdown. I've been blocking my tail off all night. I'll take one, coach.
29-yard line.
Second and short. Stang nearly jumped again. Here's Marks
Marks on the
just
carry.
ripping through, and Marks twists his way down inside
He
the
gets all the way
15 down to
down.
the 14-yard line. And you've noted all night long, Andrew,
To the 14
he's got
yard
7 or 8
line.
yards before they lay a hand on him.
yeah, I mean, they're just holes everywhere in this offensive line. They're doing a great job up front. I'm sure they're having fun blowing guys off the line of scrimmage, and Marks is taking advantage of these big holes, and not much Stang can do in those quick hits to Marks and to Crane up the middle there.
There's Marks.
Marks on
Trips
the
over one of
carry
his
again.
own men. Advances it down for about a 4-yard, 5-yard gain.
Again brought down by
Down to the
Landry.
10-yard line.
One of the things with Marks, you know, he has a combination
Gain of
of
5 on the
power
play.
and speed.
Ball is on the
And
10-yard
Andrew's
line.
been talking
It will
about
be
how he's untouched for those
second
first
and
4 or 5
5.
yards. That makes it even harder for them to bring him down. He's already got the speed going. Nobody's touching him. Now he's coming like a truck, and now you got to try to slow him down. It makes the tackling even more difficult.
Seems to be nicked up a little bit. Took his time around the huddle that time. And here's the quarterback. He's going to waltz
Kelly on the
in
carry.
for the touchdown.
And he's into the
Will
end zone
Kelly.
for a touchdown.
His third of the night, I believe, fellas.
I think so. I think that's the third time he's run somebody over at the goal line as well.
Will Kelly.
This play's been unstoppable all night, as Paul mentioned before. Just the blocking on the outside, getting to the outside, and no one's out there for Stang. It's just, you know, they're not reading the right cues. They're letting that getting jammed inside, and the outside is wide open.
Touchdown runs of 11 yards, 22 yards, and now 5 yards by senior quarterback Will Kelly.
Paradash, he's perfect
Parrish
on the
on the
night.
extra point, and it's good.
2:22 to go in the third.
In the third quarter.
As we
Dartmouth
talked
High
about in the
School
top of the
35,
broadcast, a very
Bishop Stang
experienced
nothing.
Dartmouth High School team against a very inexperienced Bishop Stang team, and they just score 35-0.
Yeah, you know, when they get the blocking up front, we talked about, you know, the center, T.J. Pickering, the right guard, Josh Miller, right tackle Parker Souza, left guard Danny Martin, left tackle Eli Johnson, creating some big holes for Ethan Marks to run through, and Will Chow on that last run, and then Patrick Crane getting his opportunity to run the ball. But then when Will takes the ball around the side, absolutely no answer. Just takes the ball. It feels like he could do that almost on every play because there's no adjustment being made. And Will has really taken advantage of that, and that's why he's gotten into the end zone 3 times.
Now we'll start to look to see if Coach White starts to substitute some of his younger players. As much as he likes to see that 35-0 score, Andrew.
Yeah,
No coach likes to be up that much with this much time left.
Louis Freitas to kick
yeah.
off
I mean,
for
it's
the Indians.
some of the seniors who don't get their start. Maybe they'll get a chance to get in the game. It is Stang. I know it's not Thanksgiving, but it's still a huge game for these kids.
Freitas boots it high, deep. Morales has got a head of steam going. And knocked off his feet as he crossed the 30-yard line. That brought the Stang crowd up.
It's a nice
Morales
return.
brings
Still playing on him.
return.
Knowing Dennis, these kids aren't going to quit on him. He's not going to quit on the kids. He's going to make the kids play hard, make the kids stay with it the whole game. There's no give up in him, and you know that's what he wants to preach to these kids.
What a head of steam Morales got on that one. He just took off
Ball
full
is on the
speed.
34-yard
Saw
line.
that hole, and he was just
Spartans,
flying.
it will be first
So a
and
nice
10
job
for
by
Bishop
the Stang
on their own
special
34-yard
teams unit
line.
to get at least decent field position. They haven't had good field position all night. Except for the time that Dartmouth fumbled the ball, of course.
A lot of subs in on defense for the Indians. There's a Pitch to the near side. Now across the 40 to the 42-yard line goes Greg Morales.
Brought down by Jared Abreu.
Patrick Crane on the tackle. Chiquito. Excuse me. Both begin with C, don't they, Paul?
Well, at least we can see the numbers this year.
We're going to test the play-by-play announcer in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this is the hardest thing you can ever do when it's 35 to nothing. You know, as you get old, you have trouble focusing, just making a cup of coffee in the morning.
Morales on the carry.
That's Morales and haul him down at the line of
Brought
scrimmage.
down by T.J. Pickering
Pickering, there for the Indians.
and Parker Souza.
And we have an Indian that may be cramped up.
Timeout on the field.
Looks like it could be Patrick Crane.
Officials timeout.
I'm not surprised. There's not a lot of, there's no double sessions anymore. There's all these new rules with COVID. There's all the new rules with if the heat index is over a certain point, you can't practice. I know Dartmouth moved practices from 2 in the afternoon till 7 at night, or vice versa, because they have all these different rules of practice. So not as much hitting, not as much running. You know, it's tough. You know, there's a time frame on every practice they have to abide by now. So not surprised somebody like Patrick Crane cramping up after playing a full game, first game of the year. Not surprising.
Now, Andrew, Paul and I are old. We don't have to play athletics. We just wake up with cramps at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
And does anybody help you stretch it out like that?
No,
Not really, no.
And in my house, the beautiful bride, she snores so loud that I need a new roof every other year.
Really?
And the dog just looks at me like I'll be up stretching and almost in tears, and my little Maltese looks at me like, "What is wrong with you?"
Usually it's the other way around. Usually the snoring is coming from another location. Did you say she was snoring? Is that what you said?
Yes,
Yeah, all right.
she-
Just want
yeah,
to make sure I got that right. Usually it's all the couples that I know. Usually it's the man that's snoring.
Yeah,
Patrick Crane walks off the field.
she's got one of those machines now. And
I got one of those.
You have one of those? Really?
Yeah, and it was really one of the better things I did. I sleep like a baby now. Yeah, I put that whole headgear on and everything. Oh, yeah,
Oh.
that's great. Yeah, I know.
The first night she put it on, I tackled her. I thought we were playing two-hand touch.
That figures.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
And
you're
we
right.
better be careful because you and I we're not very good with so much time left on the clock. We're not good.
We're
We
gonna be
better.
good.
Peter Chase, we don't want him to lose his job. He just was approved as the interim director of Dartmouth Community Media. Cindy Marlin retiring this year. We don't want to get Peter canned in his first few months on the job.
Before he even gets it full time. Third and 1 for Bishop Stang.
Third shot here for the Spartans. Gonna try to sneak it. Might have lost a half a yard.
He's trying the Tom Brady.
Sakata tries to quarterback
That
sneak.
didn't look like a very clean center to quarterback
No gain on
exchange
the
there.
play.
So Stang will have another 4th and short.
Exchange, obviously, the key to a play like that because you want to snap it,
It will be 4th
catch the
and 1.
defense off guard, get that extra second when you know the ball is being snapped and they don't. But the execution was not good.
Oh, goodness gracious. St. Carter, I don't know what he was thinking about. Indians hold, and they'll take over the possession of the football.
Tackle
I don't know
on
if the
play
center snapped it too early, Paul.
by Devon Wilson.
Maybe we'll get a chance to
Devin Wilson.
look at that once again.
The Indians will take over.
Perhaps a
first and
broken
10.
play. It almost looked like the quarterback expected different movement to his left, or somebody was going to be there, or I don't know, just got up,
Nobody
turned, and
went the wrong way.
slaughtered. Went the wrong way.
Nobody home.
It was interesting. Andrew was talking before about all those rules with practice and so forth. Not to make excuses, that might have led to the more possibility of having a cramp. You got to wonder if that might also lead to the possibility of making all those mistakes more than we generally see. Because if you don't get those touches and you don't get those reps, it's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, talking to some of the coaches that I'm friendly with, it's a different way of coaching than 15, 20 years ago. There's X amount of time for, specialty to get your technique down. Then you go right into a team aspect. So there's not a ton of time to really work on your technique, work on what you need to do, your cues. So, I mean, Dartmouth's done a good job, paying attention to the veer tonight and dominating that defensive line. But for Stang, I mean, some of these kids probably haven't tackled somebody live as fast as Ethan Marks in
Sean Martin, the quarterback for
a year.
the Indians.
Now, is that because of COVID, or does it also have to do with concussion protocols? And
I think it's a combination. I know that some of the stuff like the Heen Index the past couple of weeks, right before the season started, Dartmouth had moved their practice from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 7 o'clock at night, just because it's the heat index. And
right, so that doesn't have anything to do with COVID.
No.
I figured, like you said, combine that with the COVID restrictions and creates a whole different preparation.
Oh yeah,
Well, we've completed 3 here from the stadium. Indians on top by a score of 35-0. The final 12 coming your way here from the stadium. Crosstown rivals, the Spartans, the Bishop Stang. We talked about it at the top of the telecast. Stang lost a lot of players last year, 15, 16, 17 seniors. The Indians, quite the opposite. They returned a bunch of seniors on both sides of the football. And opening game here tonight, Paul Santos, it's played out exactly. We're usually never right, but this game has played out as we thought it would.
Yeah, and as the coaches thought it would. I mean, the coaches can't think that way. They still have to go out there and execute with their team and make the plays that they're prepared to make and so forth. But, it goes in cycles like that. There are some years where, you have all those seniors back, you have those upperclassmen, and other years you have the big turnover. In fact, we as announcers, I know you probably do the same thing, Jim. The first thing I do when I grab a roster is I look and see how many players are coming back, how many players did they lose. And if you lost a lot of great players, a lot of seniors, a lot of upperclassmen, and another team maybe has all of theirs back, that's the first thing you look at before you even delve into, the players that you have on the roster. So tonight it was exactly like you said. Stang, hardly anybody back. Dartmouth, just about everybody back. Interesting to see how this Dartmouth team does as the season goes along, because it's difficult to tell from this how they might do against a stronger opponent.
New quarterback in there for the Indians, along with a whole new running back set. That's Jared Abreu,
so
the runner.
Sean Martin is the son of the defensive coordinator Mike Martin, another coach's son in the game.
He's in there at the quarterback spot. And fellas, just so you know, I don't know if it's a special rule when you're up 35-0, but it's a running clock from here on out. The clock will not stop. But that won't stop Paul Santos from talking.
Well, that's a new rule that came in, right? 2 years ago. Well, I think Jim suggested it 3 years ago in one of the games that we were doing. Don't you remember that? I remember that.
I do.
We were doing a game and Jim said, you know what, they should really go to a running clock. And then now we have the running clock just like that.
Well, no one listens to me in my house, so I'm glad the MIAA is listening. That was Fenno on the ball carrier. It was nice to see his grandparents here at the game tonight.
I think Jim also said we need a new lights here. And that came to fruition.
Yeah, I complained for Doc Noon sitting next to me.
That one took a little longer than the running clock.
You know how much cash I had to give him? Unbelievable. I had about 15 grand before we finally got the lights here. Only kidding. It'll kill me for that.
And how about the turf? Where you can see the lines and the numbers are so bright. The uniforms have been changed so that you can read the numbers.
Abreu trying to get up to that first down marker. Coach White's lovely bride came up here, had a little chat with us, and you and I were so happy talking about the new uniforms that you could actually see them. And then she took blame for the dark numerals, where you and I would look at each other and would say, who caught it, who threw it, who scored, right? We didn't have a clue.
Well, last year when you were in Florida, I filled in for you play-by-play, right? So I was like, wow, this is harder than I thought it was going to be. Until they got the close-up, it was like, touchdown, I don't know who. So, but yeah, this is a lot better. But you're going to notice there's 2 lines on the shoulders of the players. And if you're watching from the side, you got to make sure that you don't think it's number 11 all the time.
And we made that mistake, and that's why she came up. Doc Newton's not doing his job. Didn't notice the stripes on the shoulder pads.
Yeah, well, usually a lot of times the number would be right around there. So those are stripes, those are not numbers.
It will be 2nd and 10.
But that's okay, you can leave that. That's okay. Now Doc Nunes is saying that he's being inappropriately blamed for something by the play-by-play announcer, which we've seen this before.
You ever heard of ballot harvesting?
No.
Oh, Doc, you've been elected for 30 years. Spartans advancing up to about the 37-yard line.
Some Carter on the carry.
So just go to New Bedford Guide. You scroll back to Paul Santos live show, guest Jim Thompson. And one of the things about that, we did have a lot of laughs and all that, but I did learn a lot about you, about how you get into the business that
I
you
remember my son sitting next to me, so be careful.
Well, he was listening.
Oh, he was listening. Oh,
And I think he was thinking something like, oh my God, what is going on there?
I was nervous. I was actually shopping at Target with it out loud, knowing anything is possible to come out of both your mouths.
You were playing that thing on a speaker in Target.
I was very nervous, yes. I kept walking away to get alone because I didn't know what was going to come on next.
well, here's the Spartans with their best offensive player of the night. They move it down to the Indians' 40-yard line. Actually, they'll mark it at the 39.
Brought down by Logan Noble.
Well, that's one viewer that we had. Nice play here by Bishop Stang, getting the runner in the open around the side.
Morales got a little speed to him.
Yeah, he definitely. We saw him on special teams just fly. It looks like we're going to have a holding penalty.
So their best play is nullified.
Holding Bishop Stang.
Jim had that successful career selling scallops. So in other words, if you had come on as a guest like a few years back, you could have hooked us up.
1st and 10.
That's true, because
on their own 47
I might
yard
have
line.
told the fisherman to look one way and grab 10 pounds for you the other way.
Yeah. Yeah, they call that, compensation.
No, it was a great career. I was very fortunate.
Yes, I remember. And now you've been retired the last couple of years and enjoying it a little bit.
Retired right during COVID. Great time to retire.
Yeah.
Sit around all day and try to follow the rules, which seem to be changing daily. Let's do the best we all can in the community. That's the best you can do, I guess. Spartans try to run it here to the near side, and the Indians defend it well. Clock continues to roll here, aggressively for the Spartans.
Jake Shakita on the tackle.
I like this rule.
They do too.
Loss of 3 on the play. It will be 2nd
Yeah, I
and
mean,
13.
there really is no point stopping the clock in a game like this, which, the game is already in hand. So it doesn't benefit anyone. Someone could get hurt. The game just continues onward. So, I do like it. What is the actual definition of the rule? How big does the score have to be? 30 points? 30 points in the fourth quarter.
40 points in the third quarter, 32 points in the fourth.
Oh, 40 in the third, 32 in the fourth.
And even
Okay.
if the other team scores after.
If you're wondering who Paul Santos is talking to, he's talking to the clock operator, who's also an official.
So even if the other team rallies, the clock still continues
Gain
to
of 2
run.
on the play. It will be
So if you take that 32 and it gets cut
Third
down
and
to
11.
25, well, too late. Clock's still running. You're not going to come back from that anyway.
Correct.
That's interesting how they came up with 40 and 32.
Well, it's the MIAA. If you can figure those guys out, you can figure anything out.
As opposed to
Morales on the
31 or
carry.
28 or. So remember that now. 40 in the third
Carry
quarter,
for on the
32 in the fourth
tackle.
quarter.
My wife's at Joe's, putting our order in for pizza. That's all I know.
Don't forget the stretching. You said you had cramps sometimes. You need to stretch your
Yes,
leg
I
out.
need to
7 yard
stretch.
line, it
Fourth
will be
down and
4th
5
4
for Bishop Stang.
for Bishop Stang.
And here comes a flag.
I had to go for physical therapy for my
Dead
back,
ball foul, legal
And the
procedure
physical
against
therapist lays
Stang.
you on your back and they lift your leg up for you,
Really?
Yeah, you know, and actually it's better when they lift the leg up for you as opposed to when you do it yourself. So then I went home and I said, well, physical therapy's over, and I was trying to get my wife to lift up the leg for me, and that was respectfully, I declined.
Yes. Yeah.
I actually saw that happening in physical therapy over the wintertime.
Yes.
Paul and I had physical therapy together.
Well, I go for mental therapy. I haven't seen either one of you there. 4th and 9 for the Spartans, who commit the motion penalty to knock them back an additional 5. They run it to the far side, and nothing good comes of that. Second, third team Indian defense.
There's a big difference
making
when
the play.
the physical therapist, you know, stretches a leg out for you as opposed to you trying to do it yourself. Like it's not the same kind of stretch because they're doing it for you. You know what I mean? Like, so it's I can understand why TP12 there goes through that whole regimen where his friend Alex, you know, breaks him down and, you know, loosens them up and does whatever preparation he needs to do because that other person, you know, you can't do it yourself. You know.
You ever try using Ben Gay or anything like that? You know, Ben Gay, you never think of, you know, you rub it on. And
is that still on the market?
Yeah, well, in my house, I got a batch of it, and it's great. You go to breakfast, and the guy next to you goes, Jesus, what's wrong with you?
I never thought it worked. All it does is create this numbing, buzzing feeling, but like the pain still comes through, doesn't it? I still feel the pain anyway. It just creates that, there's a smell and there's a, never mind.
Oh, there's a motion penalty.
So people actually say, Jim, what's that odor?
They do. And I was in the fish business for 40 years. They said I smell better now than I did for 40 years. Indians backed up 5. This is dangerous territory with 2.5 minutes to go. Paul is quite capable of dragging my deepest demons out of me.
Well, I learned a lot about your career and your background and your education and so forth.
I did go to Bishop Stang for 2 years. Coach Rossi leaving the house. And there's the quarterback keeper, and
Martin on the carry.
advances it out to the midfield stripe.
Ball down by James
Sean
Wesley.
Martin, the ball carrier.
So freshman year and sophomore year, Bishop Stang, and then junior year and senior year at Dartmouth High School. So this gives you a little bit of a perspective here. You attended both schools.
I did, you know, but I went home my sophomore year after the first semester, and I told my mother I'm at the top of the class. And Stang used to rate the students. I think that's all out the window now because, you know, we're all supposed to, no matter how smart you are, you got to be just as smart as the person next to you. You're not supposed to be smarter than the next person anymore, I guess. But back then they rated you like smart to not too smart. And I went home and I was 242 out of 246. And I told my mother, look at that. Top of the class.
Offside.
She goes, you must be reading it upside down. You are not too smart, and you will be going to Dartmouth High School because the $800 I'm paying for Bishop Stang, we can't afford to send a dummy to a good school like that. So I came over to Dartmouth High. And
$800, huh?
it was $800 back then.
Now let me ask you, right? You
Yeah.
actually thought that like 246 was the smartest guy?
Well, there's 246 in the class, and I was 242. I wanted to get to the
So you
the
thought
top, the high number.
You thought you were the fourth smartest.
Exactly.
Because you were reading it backwards.
There you go. And that's been the story of my life, Paul. I made it to age 66. I don't know how some days.
So when you went to Dartmouth High School, did you feel that you got your academics in better form for whatever reason? Or
I did.
Yeah, you kind of buckled down?
Buckled
You
down.
buckled down, Jim. Now
And-
buckle down. You got to buckle down, Jim.
And you know who one of the first people I met? I was a junior. The guy sitting next to us, Doc Noons. Now think how far training has come as the game has come to its final 10 seconds. Doc Noons was the trainer for the Dartmouth High School athletics. So you go to a basketball game, and there would Doc be lifted somebody's ankle and taping it up. As the game is concluded here at the stadium. Final score here from the stadium, Dartmouth High School 35, Bishop Stang nothing. Let's wrap it up, Paul. Your thoughts on this one?
Well, I think it was a pretty good game for Dartmouth. Like, you look at that score and you think, oh, Dartmouth, was perfect tonight. Not so much. They took advantage of an inexperienced team. Still got some things to clean up. A lot of fumbles, a lot of penalties, a lot of, things like false starts and stuff. But on the bright side, some really nice running and nice blocking by the offensive line. They had a 46-yard touchdown run by Ethan Marks was the first score. That was followed by an 11-yard Kelly touchdown run. Then it was Will Kelly with a 22-yard touchdown run. 6-yard run by Will Chow and another 5-yard run by Kelly. 3 touchdowns for him. Tara Dasher all extra points and a 35-0 win for the Indians. But from the Dartmouth point of view, definitely things to work on if they want to continue to win and get into the win column against other teams that are going to be tougher opponents. They're going to have to make some improvements at practice.
Andrew?
I think it was a good game for Dartmouth. I think it's a nice, easy first game of the year to come in, not play a BR, not play Old Rochester, get your feet under you, get a game in, get your offense going, get your defense going. I think they did what they needed to do. The defense stepped up, threw a shutout. A lot of mistakes early. Yeah, I think they'll come back, work on that in practice this week, come out next week ready to go. But as far as opening games go, to start off the year with a nice win over a rival, 35-0. Couldn't ask for a better start to the game for the Indians. Again, it's the first game of the year, first time with fans in over a year. Mistakes happen, but they'll clean it up as time goes on. I think the Indians will be on a roll. Hopefully this year they'll get into the playoffs and make a run.
Well, fellas, I want to thank you for being on hand tonight. First game of the season. We had a little technical difficulty at the start. I just got a text from Peter Chase that Paul talked too much last year, so Andrew, they initially cut off his microphone for the first quarter, but we're glad we got all that fixed. We hope you enjoyed the game. Your people on watching on Facebook, we thank you for joining us as well, and we'll wrap it up here. The final score for the final time: Dartmouth High School 35, Bishop Stang High School nothing. For my broadcast partners, Andrew Thompson and Paul Santos, I'm Jim Thompson. Until next time, so long, everybody.